Grand Rising, y'all. Can't even talk. It is my 276th daily reading, and I am reading out of Get What You Want, The Art of Making and Manifesting Your Intentions by Tony Burrows. My hair's a little everywhere still. I just got up. Okay, here we go. We are on. It's called Nationalism. Okay, nationalism. We are all different but equal. A common thread that runs through all of the intender's writings has to do with our illusions and how we can extricate ourselves from them. As we have said many times, there is nothing wrong with harboring an illusion. It's just that when we become aware of its true nature, we make a conscious decision whether to continue to play with it or set it aside. Somewhere along the line, you decided to have some fun and incarnate into a body, and before you knew it, certain rules and resistances became apparent. Life on Earth, though abundant with rich feelings and experiences, had its risks. A wide variety of illusions and games presented themselves, and you said to yourself, "This looks interesting. I think I'll play this game for a while." Why not? Everybody else is playing it. When the time comes for me to set aside this silly amusement and return to the way I felt as a child, it won't be any problem. So you jumped in with both feet, started giving names to everything around you, including yourself, agreed that a great many artificial boundaries were real, created false identities and relationships, arbitrarily gave power to other people, which allowed them to control you, began making judgments, and so forth. Life went on, and as the years passed, you became more and more enmeshed in your illusions. When the time arrived for you to set aside all your games and dramas, it turned out that it wasn't so easy. You'd been heavily programmed and developed habits that didn't want to go away. Such is the challenge that faces most people today. They're playing games, some taking life less seriously, while others are passionately putting everything they have on the line. In both instances, however, most people have long forgotten the moment when they chose to start playing. Most are lost in the dramas. Perhaps the most insidious drama we take part in, perhaps the most insidious dramas we have to take part in have to do with our identification and allegiance to a particular nation. We identify with this country or that, and in doing so, we isolate ourselves to one degree or another from everyone else in the world. We agree upon arbitrary, make-believe boundaries and tell ourselves that we are the good guys, while anyone else who lives outside of our country's boundaries lines is not as good as us, or isn't as deserving of all good things as we are. God forbid that someday someone wanders across one of our boundary lines in need of help, but instead of sharing and opening our arms to our fellow traveler, we rally our other misguided countrymen together and run the needy invader out on a rail. Of all of our illusions, nationalism seems to bring out the worst in us. Our allegiance to it somehow gives us an instant excuse to wreak harm or havoc on our fellow men and women. We stumble blindly forward, rarely looking deep enough to see that our allegiance to our nation has its inherent costs to us, costs which are perhaps higher than we know. In its wake, nationalism leaves us living in constant fear, not only for our homes and possessions, but also for our very lives and the lives of our precious families. It asks us to set aside all of our noble human traits and align ourselves with those who would kill at the drop of a hat. It makes everyone who believes it a barbarian, indistinguishable from the pillaging hordes of centuries past. Indeed, none who kill in the name of country can call themselves sane. Fortunately, the truth is always there to free us from our insanity. The truth brings all illusions to light where they can be seen and acted upon from a higher, more loving perspective. In the case of nationalism, we need to look no further than the fact that the earth is home to all of us. We all live here and have as much right to enjoy our lives as the next person. We may be different in our appearances, our languages, values, and beliefs, but we are all equal, equal in the eyes of God, equal at the core of our beings. As we begin to see through the illusion that we are better than someone else, it loosens its grip on us, and we take the first step toward living in a world of comfort and peace. We take the first step back to our sanity. My intention for today is, or as I say, my affirmation for today is, I affirm that I am seeing everyone everywhere as equal, regardless of our differences. I think that is very important, and I think that we are seeing very clearly now that this so-called pandemic is everywhere, not just in one country or another, that we really are no different. So stop and look around and put things into perspective. With that being said, I'm sending out love, light, and healing energy. Ask that you pay it forward and pass it on. Until tomorrow, peace. Later.